And so in Wesley's time, the Church of England had a lot of the formal structures that are a sort of an English iteration of some of those Catholic structures, while also having a history both of nonconformist spirit, which is where the Puritans come from, and also experience of the consequences of nonconformism when you have a monarchy that waffles back and forth. And so there is a both and, a kind of mediating. I don't want to say palliative, but I want to say there's this tension in Wesley's understanding of Christianity that is trying to balance the best of the Roman Catholic world and the best of the Protestant world. And so when Wesley's coming up at the University of Oxford, he joins something called the Holiness Club. And this is a group of young, bright Oxford dons, all white men, who are undertaking a serious, structured, disciplined way of living into holiness and conforming to the image of Christ. And so Wesley has deep in his orientation to the world a kind of structuralist formalism. But then he gets it in his heart that he is supposed to go to the United States and evangelize the Native Americans, people who have never heard the gospel. And there's very much a kind of romantic idea of sort of the noble, untouched human being in the state of nature that Wesley wants to go proclaim the good news of Christ to. And so he gets on a boat, crosses the Atlantic, and on the ship with him, crossing the Atlantic, are a bunch of Moravians. Moravians were a nonconformist group that got started. They are the heirs of the failed Reformation in Bohemia, which is now in the modern Czech Republic, who go and find haven on the lands that are now in Germany that are owned by Count Zinzendorf. And Zinzendorf is this nobleman who has all this land, and so he, in German, they're known as the Herrnhuter-Gemeinde. Herrnhut was the name of Zinzendorf's haven for the Moravians. And so they are, you could call them Protestant, but they're a very specific kind of Protestant that Moravian piety was very, there's a lot about it that really resonates with a lot of mystical theology from the Middle Ages, a real sacramental communion with the blood and wounds of Christ. A lot of Moravian prayers and hymns have to do with the woundedness of Christ. When you think about like films like The Passion of the Christ that really focus on the suffering of Christ in the Passion, that is very much right in the heart of Moravian spirituality. And so Wesley, this intellectual, structured Church of England via media formalist, is on his way to evangelize the Native Americans on this boat. And an enormous wooden ship, right? Imagine, crossing the Atlantic in the wintertime in a big wooden ship. And an enormous storm whips up at sea and is casting this wooden ship just up and down waves. And everybody is sure that they're going to die. And the Moravians gather in the hull of the ship. They hold on to each other and they just sing hymns. And this is one of the most powerful religious experiences of John Wesley's life. And he searches his own heart after the waters still and finds that he does not have a faith like this. And it's the difference between this powerful, what I'll call a kind of pietistic, devotional, even mystical faith of the Moravians, and Wesley's structured kind of procedural understanding of Christianity. This difference between these two things that I would say becomes, the tension between these two things becomes the kind of dynamo for Wesley's theological transformation.